Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 17th April 2024. So yesterday, finally, the results of UPSC CSC 2023 had been released, and my heartily congratulations to the toppers. And now let us see our Hindu analysis. Here I am taking PDF of Hindu and I am going to explain you like how you can think a topic from multi-dimensional way and even how we can connect a topic with one syllabus with another subjects in our syllabus of your UPSC. Okay, so here you have to focus on two important things. So first one will be always our syllabus. So our syllabus will be like Bible that will show a way to Masuri. And next one is you have to see previous year's questions, and previous year's questions analysis is very important because you can understand the trends of UPSC. And if you're analyzing each and every option which is given there, so next time that option may be a question in your UPSC prelims. So here, yes, you need to have a thorough and deep analysis of previous year's questions so that it will give you success in your prelims. So this is front page. So now let us try to identify which are the articles relevant from our examination point of view. So first article is 29 Maoists shot dead at Kanker in Chhattisgarh. Yes, this article is very relevant from our examination point of view. So if you have gone through syllabus of GS paper 3, we have a subject called as internal security. So this Maoism or Naxalism, it is part of our internal security challenge. So let us see the dimensions. So before seeing dimensions, I want to announce about the course. That is new offline batch that we are going to launch in Rathods IAS Academy from 27th May 2024 onwards. And one important policy, no one in India, like any institute, no institute in India, nowhere, anywhere came up with this challenge. That is 50% refund policy, that too with a written agreement. Yes, what is this policy is about? So after taking like admissions and after coaching of your foundation, GS foundation for prelims cum mains, if you're not clearing even your prelims, then the amount that you paid, we are going to return back 50%. Okay, so no one in India, and it is the first time in history of India we came up with this policy, and this is very important. Why? Because we have the confidence that we can make you clear this examination. So why? Because so we are providing the classes, quality classes, so that you can understand the concept. And after understanding the concept, you will be having revision on that. And every day you will be having tests like prelims and mains answer writing practice. And for prelims you will be having evaluation, and for mains you will be having evaluation of your answers. And we are also going to provide detailed study plan. Okay. So with all these things, yes, you can clear examination for sure. So we are providing extra 5 study hours every day. So every day we are conducting 5 hours of your GS classes, and apart from that we are also providing you the study space with faculty support. So actually you will be not getting this type of support anywhere. Like after classes there will be no interaction between the students and faculty, but here we are providing the study space with faculty support. So if you have any doubt, you can clear your doubts with the faculty. And in that study hours we are focusing on 3 things. First one is revision. So revision of the topics that are done in the morning session. And the next one is we are focusing on practice of your prelims and mains from that topics on that day. And we will be also covering your complete NCRTs in that study hours. And apart from this, one important trick I can say here is, so why students are not clearing the prelims? Because they are not understanding the trends of UPSC. They are not understanding what is the exact demand of UPSC. So if you know these 2 things, then you can easily clear examination for sure. So for that, we are going to have the practice of more than 10,000 PYQs of UPSC examination. So here we are not only covering UPSC CSE examinations pre-Qs, but even we are covering prelims questions of other examinations conducted by the same UPSC. So more or less the standard will be same. Okay, so that you can understand like how the question is given, okay, by the UPSC. So we are going to practice like subject wise, topic wise, year wise questions. Okay, and next one here is we are going to have one-to-one mentorship. So on every Sunday you will be having mentorship with the faculty, and not only that, even we are providing mentorship with the toppers so that they can give you the right approach, okay, so that you can clear your examination easily. That is one-to-one mentorship session. So because of all these criteria, I can say that yes, you can clear examination if you are having a right approach, right study plan, right guidance and dedication from you. Dedication from you is very important. That is the one thing we are expecting that, and remaining we will be contributing. And I will see like how won't you clear your prelims. So it is a challenge. Okay. So there are very limited seats, like only 70 seats per a batch, and already admissions are in progress. So there are very few seats they are left. So if you want to book your seat, so you can contact us on this number 8074765513, or else you can fill the register form, so which is given in the description box. Okay, so that's all about this course, and I wish like you will be the next topper from our institute. Okay, and we are going to release the videos of toppers soon in the YouTube channel. Okay, so now let us see this article and let us see the dimensions of this. So this article, it is about Naxalism or Maoism. It is about Naxalism or Maoism. So what are the dimensions that you have to see? First of all, this article is important from GS paper 3 under internal security. So this is one internal security challenge that we are facing. So here you have to understand what is the history of Naxalism or Maoism. And exactly have to see like what is the definition of this Naxalism or Maoism. And you have to see what are the causes for this rise of Maoism or Naxalism. And you have to see like which areas in our country they are affected by this Naxalism. For example, you have to see what is this red corridor. Okay, and apart from this, you have to see like what are the steps taken by government, and you have to see like what are the steps taken by the government. And next you have to see some programs. And there is a high chance of getting this question of Naxalism or Maoism in your mains, because recently our Union Home Minister made a statement that so there is decreasing of attacks of Naxalism in India. So because of this, yes, you need to develop your own perspective regarding the status of Naxalism in India. Okay. So now let us see this topic in detail. So if you are talking about why it is in news because around 29 Maoists they were killed in an operation by security forces in Kanker district in Chhattisgarh state. So in Chhattisgarh state here in Kanker district, so around 29 Maoists they were killed in an operation. So this operation was jointly done by Kanker district reserve guards and border security force. So these two, they came up with a joint team and they came up with this operation and they killed around 29 Maoists. And if you are talking about this Naxalism, so the word Naxalism, which is used to define a violent activities on behalf of landless laborers and on behalf of tribal people against landlords and others by some individuals and groups. So this is like the basic understanding of this Naxalism. So Naxalism is nothing but it is like violent activities against landlords or some other individuals of the group, on behalf of whom? On behalf of this tribal people and as well as landless laborers. So actually this Naxalite movement which came into the forefront in 1960s in this region called as Naxalbari. So the name here which we gave here is Naxalism, and it was like one of the famous left-wing revolt which took place in West Bengal region. And now let us try to analyze what are the reasons for this Naxalite movement. So first one here is tribal discontent. So if you are talking about acts regarding the tribal, so we have number of acts like Forest Conservation Act, Forest Rights Acts, etc. And actually this Forest Conservation Act of 1980 is in use because of amendment. So there is a high chance of getting question regarding Forest Conservation Act of 1980 in your prelims. So you have to focus on that. So if you are talking about this tribal discontent, the Forest Conservation Act, the Forest Conservation Act of 1980, so this act which deprives tribals who depend on the forest produce for their living from even like cutting a bark. So there is no right for the people. So there is depriving of rights of tribals, because actually these tribals, they depend upon this forest, okay, for their livelihood and everything. Like if there is depriving of rights, what happen? So the rights of these tribal people will be get violated, right? So and even whenever there is any government development project, any infrastructure project in this forest areas, so these people, they will be what? They will be displaced. So massive displacement of tribal people in Naxalism affected states because of infrastructure project, tribal for example developmental projects or any other operations, etc., or any other reasons. So this is the one important reason for this rise of Naxalism during 1960s. And next one is easy targets. Such people who don't have any source of living, they are taken into Naxalism by Maoists. So Maoists, they provide arms and ammunitions and money to such people who do not have like proper source of living. And next one is, there are some gaps in our socio-economic system of our country. So government is measuring its success on basis of number of violent attacks rather than the development done in Naxal affected areas. So this is also one important thing. And next one is, there is also absence of strong technical intelligence. So whatever the intelligence that you are having, so that is very poor. So that is not efficient to tackle this Naxalism. And you are also seeing like some infrastructure problems, because some villages, they are not yet connected properly with communication network. There is no proper mobile network or proper communication. So because of this is also one important reason. So that is leading to the increasing of actions of Naxalites. And this one is, there is no follow-up from administration. So actually whenever government is coming up with any policies, any programs, any developmental activities, etc., so there is no proper follow-up is done. So I can say like this is administration failure. So administration fails to provide essential services to the people of that region. So because of this, people, they are raising voice against government. And next one is, there is also confusion over tackling Naxalism as a social issue or as a security issue. So this is also one important problem. And these are some important causes for this rise of Naxalism in India. So I hope you understood, right? And now let us try to see what are the measures taken by the government. This part is very important from your means. So actually in this 2010, government started one movement called as Operation Green Hunt. So actually in this Operation Green Hunt, government started recruiting of massive security forces, especially in these areas where this problem of Naxalism was present. And from around 223 districts, they were affected due to Naxalism in year 2010. And finally after this, around this number had to be decreased to around 90 in 9 years. And government also came up with this aspirational district program scheme. So here the government approach under this scheme, it is to deal with left-wing extremism in a holistic manner. And especially they are focusing on security, deployment and ensuring of rights of people and entitlements of local communities, and even they are focusing on governance and public perception management. So under this program, they are focusing on these areas to make this less developed or least developed areas to somewhat developed areas. And this one is, government also came up with this one important operation. It is called as Samadhan. Okay, it is called as Samadhan. So Samadhan, it is a Ministry of Home Affairs initiative to deal with this Naxal problem. And if you're talking about the Samadhan, which stands for smart leadership, aggressive strategy, motivation and training, actionable intelligence, dashboard based KPIs, that is key performance indicators, and next one is key result areas, harnessing technology, and action plan for each theatre, and even no access to financing. Okay, so these are like important things that are taken under this Operation Samadhan. And one tip I want to give you is, so whenever you are writing answer regarding Naxalism, so you have to incorporate this Operation Samadhan for sure. So there should be no answer without this Operation Samadhan in your Naxalism related answer. Yes, now let us see like other important measures taken by government. So next one is technological interventions. So Ministry of Home Affairs has suggested use of trackers of weapons. So use of tracker for weapons, that means we have to track the weapons, and biometrics in smart guns, and unique identification number for gelatin sticks and explosives. Okay, and even they are also trying for this unmanned aerial vehicles, that is drones. They should be deployed for each of Central Armed Forces battalions which are deployed in this Maoist areas. And next important step here is Joint Task Force for operations along interstate boundaries. So there are some states which are affected by this Naxalism, that is called as Red Corridor. So there are many states. So between the boundaries, between the states, okay, so there should be like deployment of operations, and we have to like focus on information sharing, that is called as intelligence sharing between the states. Okay, so this is the thing. And another important step taken by the government is filling up of critical infrastructure gaps under the scheme for special infrastructure in this left-wing extremism. So especially they are focusing on developing of this less developed states. That's it. And next one is they are also focusing on training of state police through Ministry of Defense, so that they can be like ready for this attacks with this Maoist. And next one is assistance, that is help in community policing and civic action programs, etc. So these are the measures taken by the government, especially in this Naxal affected areas. Clear? And now let us move on to next topic. So you can move to directly states page. Okay. So entire page is filled with advertisements. So I don't know like how this mock interviews will come under their students. This is the one question that is always clicking me. Yes, now let us see next very important topic, that is 9 years after Green Panel's direction, Yamuna flood plain yet to be demarcated. So here the keyword is Yamuna flood plain. So here we have to see like what are the issues which are faced by this flood plain. Okay, so now let us see this article. So this article is talking about Yamuna floodplain. So let me explain first this concept, what is called as this floodplain. So here we have river, and it is having certain course, it is moving like this direction. For example, the area which is near to this river or stream, so this area is called as floodplain. So actually what is the issue here is, so in these floodplains there is increased encroachment. For example, there is building of houses, etc., which is happening across this banks of this river Yamuna. So what happens whenever during monsoon season or whenever there is increased rainfall, so we are facing floods. So if there is no encroachment, means the impacts of floods would be like less, but now the impacts of floods is more. So here NGT also said that we have to go for demarcate of this floodplains, but it has been 9 years, but there is nothing progress had been seen in this region. Okay, so here you have to understand what is the details and what is the case which filed to demarcate this floodplains of Yamuna, and you have to see like what is this floodplain and what is the importance of this floodplain. So these are the dimensions which are important from your GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. And even This topic is important from GS paper 1 under geography. Clear? So now let us see this topic in detail. So why it is in news? The process of physical demarcation of Yamuna's floodplain, it is a basic step to help identify and to protect this sensitive ecosystem from encroachment. But it is still incomplete despite of court orders. So court orders gave like 9 years ago, but it has been not done. So this is the thing which is mainly it is in news. So moreover, 9 years after National Green Tribunal asked authorities to identify encroachments in the floodplain, so this process too has not been done, okay, and was not initiated even after devastating July 2023 floods that saw Yamuna rise to unprecedented levels. So what happened in this 2023? There is increased level of Yamuna, and we discussed number of articles regarding floods which are caused across this Yamuna river. So one of the important reason for this floods here is because of encroachment of this floodplain. So there also we discussed about this topic, right? And actually there are illegal permanent constructions on this floodplain, and they have grown only grown since the NGT directions in a landmark judgment in 2015. So from 2015 onwards, there is increased permanent constructions in this floodplain, and encroachments into this floodplain, they are intensive, that is means increased in this 1990s onwards, and there are several illegal colonies they are increasing in this site. So over years, there are multiple developmental projects like Commonwealth Game Village, and as well as Yamuna Bank Metro Station and Delhi Secretariat. They were also constructed on this floodplain. So this is also one important issue. And after this 2015 judgment, a case which had been filed by ex-IFS officer, okay, and later on this NGT formed this Maili Se Nirmal Yamuna, that means nothing but from dirty to clean Yamuna revitalization plan of 2017. And we want to especially restore river's floodplain to this natural state by 2070, but it has been crossed. So if you are talking about this National Green Tribunal judgment, so National Green Tribunal gave a warning, that is of if you are not going to clear this floodplains, we are going to face like grave environmental disasters. Okay, so because of this, now we are talking about this physical demarcation of floodplains. Now let us try to understand what is the meaning of this floodplains. So floodplains is nothing but generally flat area of land. So this land which is present next to like river or a stream. So it is composed of unconsolidated sedimentary deposits, that is nothing but alluvium. So it is subjected to like periodic inundation by the stream. So the stretches from the bank of river to outer edges of the valley it is present. And actually when you are talking about the floodplain, which contains two important parts. So first one is the main channel of river itself. Okay, in this way river is moving. So it is called as floodway. So floodways are sometimes seasonal, sometimes like perennial, etc. Okay, seasonal means nothing but only they will be flowing in some seasons. And this one is beyond the floodway. It is the flood fringe. It is the land between the banks of the floodway and valley wall, or anywhere the valley land starts to rise. Okay, so these are some important facts regarding this floodplain. So floodplain is nothing but the flat area which is present nearby the stream or the river. And now let us move on to our Hindu page, and you can directly see editorial page. And the editorial page also I found like many articles or political articles. Okay, here you can see one more important article, that is escalation of tension between Iran and Israel may affect oil price. So what is the keyword here? Oil price. And from last 1 week we are discussing about Iran and Israel issue. So we are not focusing on this Iran and Israel issue now. So we will be focusing on oil prices. So here we will be focusing on oil prices. So first let me tell you like background, just a small background. So Iran and Israel, they are fighting. So because of this fighting between Iran and Israel, so there may be decreasing of oil output, and because of this there is less exports of oil to other countries. Okay, so for example, India is importing the oil from this region. India is importing. Then what happened? Because of decreasing of output, decreasing of exports, so we are getting very less imports. So whenever we are getting very less imports, it will be having impact on direct our economy of our country. Yes or no? So here you have to understand what is the impact. What is the impact of rise of oil prices? And you have to see like what is the significance of oil. And regarding oil, there are many times question asked in your geography 2014 and 2016, I guess, regarding oil reserves. Okay, and oil where they are present. For example, they asked about shale gas. So shale gas, oil, they comes under crude oil or like fossil fuels, right? So from this area already the question had been asked. And now let us see the notes of this article. Okay, so let us see about significance of floodplains. I've missed this. So if we're talking about significance of floodplains, so one important one here is historical importance. So environmentalist Anupam Mishra labeled Yamuna as Delhi's real town planner. So Delhi has traditionally planned along this river's course. So to ensure Delhi never faced water scarcity or extreme floods. So for that it is playing a very important environmental role. And next one is ecological role. So here the floodplains recharge groundwater and they can also helpful for storage of excess water. And even so this water will be acting as a buffer during floods and as well as doing slowing the water runoff, etc. And the sediments of this floodplains, they create aquifers and that will be helpful for rejuvenation of groundwater. And if you are talking about role which is played by this river in livelihoods, so as per 2022 report which had identified like 56 bastis, okay, 56 bastis housing 46,750 people, they are present in this on these floodplains of Yamuna, and half of these households they depend upon farming, and some they are working as daily wage earners, fishing and animal herding. So because of this, these people they will be getting affected. And this one is if you are talking about agriculture value, so rich silt deposit by the river which will be helpful for good farming, and we can go for growing of traditional crops like rice, wheat and flowers. And next one is climate resilience. So floodplains, they are very much helpful in managing intense rainfall and even to prevent devastating floods. So these are some important things. And now let us see the next topic. It is about Iran-Israel impact on oil prices. So recently External Affairs Minister has expressed fear that any further escalation the tension which is between this Iran and Israel, so that is going to have a big consequence for India because it may leads to increasing of oil price. So if you see the details, it says that Mr. Jaishankar, he observed that if there is any escalation of tensions in West Asia, that would translate to increase import cost, shipping cost and as well as insurance cost and energy cost. Beside, there is rise of oil prices. So oil price will be increasing and import cost and shipping cost, okay, and as well as insurance cost, energy cost, everything will be going to increase. And what is the impact on the global economy? Yes, there will be impact for sure on global economy. The first one here is there is increased cost of production. So many industries or factories, many businesses, they rely on oil for their operations. So when oil price is increasing, and automatically there will be increased cost of production, and as well as companies, they may pass these increased costs to the customers, so that will also leads to increasing of prices of goods and services in market. This condition is called as inflation. And next one is transportation cost. So high oil price leads to more expensive transportation, which is affecting the price of goods that are transported by road, air or sea or rail. Okay, and next one is there will be also impact that is seen on consumers. So consumer prices rise, so people's purchasing power may be reduced, and even that will be leading to the reducing of consumer spending. So whenever consumer spending is decreasing, and overall economic growth will be get affected. And next one is decreasing of consumer spending. I discussed this. And next one is business cost. So businesses that they heavily rely on oil based imports or inputs, they may experience reduced profit margin. So why there is reduced profit margin? Because of increased production cost, and even this can lead to decreased business investment, and even that will lead to decreasing of hiring. That means that it automatically leads to increasing of unemployment opportunities, so that will be negatively affecting the economic growth of the country. And next one is consumer confidence. So because of this high oil prices, that can erode consumer confidence in the economy, and we have to focus on cautious spending behavior. And next one here is especially countries which are heavily dependent on this oil imports, especially like India. So they are going to face like imbalances, and they are going to have the pressures from international market and foreign exchange reserves. And next one is trade deficit. So because of this high oil prices, they can increase countries' trade deficit, and even spends more on oil imports than it earns from this exports. So this can strain countries' balance of payment, or it will lead to this balance of payment crisis of countries. And this one is even whenever we are heavily dependent on our oil imports, it will also decreases value. That means we can see like currency depreciation. So weaker currency further exacerbate the trade imbalance, and that will further lead to reducing of purchasing power of country's currency in international market. And next one is foreign exchange reserves. So we have to maintain adequate foreign exchange reserves, but whenever we are getting more imports, then that will lead to depletion of foreign exchange reserves. Okay, so this is about this topic, and now let us move on to our editorial page. So here this article is political article, that article is political article, and this article is political article. So there is one article that is step back. So it is about Israel should stand down to avoid a regional war in West Asia. So this is about this Iran and Israel issue. Already we discussed this topic. And next topic it is about navigating life as a consumer with disability. So every year on March 15 we are celebrating this World Consumer Rights Day. So here you have to understand like what is this day, what is the theme of this year, and you have to see like why we are celebrating this day, and even you have to see like what are the steps taken by the government to address issues of this persons with disabilities. Okay, so now let us see this topic in detail. So every year March 15th is celebrated as World Consumer Rights Day, and this will be helpful to create awareness among the rights of consumers. So the theme this year is Fair and Responsible AI for Consumers. So theme this year is Fair and Responsible AI for Consumers. So as artificial intelligence, which is becoming increasingly integrated into our daily lives, so it is very much crucial that AI systems are developed and those are used ethically with respect for consumer rights at the forefront. And this one is, so this year theme which also emphasizes on one more thing, that is we need artificial intelligence to be transparent, to to be accountable, to be inclusive, and also ensuring the consumer protection and even technological advancements. So these are some important features that we have to focus. And let us see what is the significance of this day. Significance here is we are celebrating this day especially for three things. The first one is we have to educate about their rights, and we have to advocate the policies and regulations to protect this consumers, especially in the digital era. And this one is we have to bring together global community to share the knowledge and strategies for consumer empowerment. Okay, and apart from that, let us see what are the initiatives taken by the government. So first one is government came up with this Consumer Protection Act of 2019. Okay, so this is enhancing consumer protection, like establishment of Central Consumer Protection Authority and to regulate matters related to the consumer rights and practices. And apart from this, we also have like state consumer protection councils. So these councils, they work in coordination with the CCPA, and they are focusing to promote and to protect consumer rights at the state level. And next one is we are also focusing on mediation and alternative dispute resolution mechanism. So in this Act of 2019 itself, it was introduced mediation. So it will be like alternative dispute resolution mechanism, so that we can get the solution, providing like very quick and with less formal means and resolving this consumer disputes here. And this one is even RBI also came up with some initiatives. The first one is RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, launched several schemes like retail direct scheme and integrated ombudsman scheme, so that we are going to strengthen the grievance redressal mechanism in this finance sector. And this one is we also came up with this e-commerce rules. So on this e-commerce rules, especially they are focusing on like protection of online consumers, and government which also proposes e-commerce rules to prevent unfair trade practices, especially to prevent unfair trade practices and even to ensure accountability and transparency. And next one is hallmarking. So here the government which has made hallmarking mandatory for gold jewelry and articrafts, so that it can provide the consumers with right to equality and right to purity. Okay, so this is about this topic, and you can directly move on to this text and context. So the first article is about reforms needed in voting process. So I already discussed about this topic, and actually you know that so we are using EVMs and as well as VVPATs. So VVPATs are nothing but here after pressing the button in this EVM, so beside this EVM we will be having a box, and that will be displaying the slip of paper with the political party logo like that. Okay, that is called as VVPAT. So actually what was the issue here, like there was one petition which is filed in Supreme Court that we have to go for 100% checking of EVMs and VVPAT. So we have to tally them. Okay, so this is the issue here. And now the Supreme Court decided to hear petitions seeking 100% cross verification of voter audit verifiable trail, that is VVPAT slips, with the votes which are count as per this electronic voting machine. So here already we discussed this topic, and this topic is at most important from your polity, from GS paper 2 and from prelims point of view. Don't neglect this topic at all. So here when we came up with this EVMs, so EVMs have been introduced in year 1982 in Assembly constituency of Paravur in Kerala region, and despite its advantages there have been doubts raised about the functioning of these EVMs by these political parties. Political parties are raising concern like so they are going to be hacked. And next one here is the most repeated allegation is that EVMs are susceptible to hacking by the electronic device. So this is the one argument that we have to see, but already Supreme Court said that there is nothing like hacking of these EVMs. And if you are talking about this transparent democracy, each citizen he must be comprehended and verify the steps in the election process. So because of this, here Supreme Court decided to take this case. And now let us move on to next topic. It is about why has India allowed FIIs to invest in its green bond. So there are two important concepts out there. So first one is FII and second one is green bonds. So you have to see these two concepts for sure. So here in the foreign investment, we have different types of investments like FDI, FPI, FII, like that. So you have to know the classification examples, and you know about this bonds. Bonds are nothing but like promissory notes. But why green is added? So green is relating to our environment. So we have to focus on achieving of good environment. Okay, we have to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. So that is the idea behind this. And this topic is important from GS paper 3 under economy. Okay, and this green bonds is also very important from your economy itself. So if you see the context why it is in news, on April 5th, Reserve Bank of India gave the green signal for investments in this sovereign gold bond, sovereign green bonds, not gold bonds, green bonds by FII, that is foreign institutional investors. Now foreign institutional investors, they can invest in this sovereign green bond. So that is the meaning here. So here sovereign green bonds are kind of government debt that specifically projects attempt to accelerate India's transition to a low carbon economy. So as you all know that in COP28, our Prime Minister said that we are going to achieve this carbon neutrality by 2070. So we need to take some steps, right? So this is that step. So if you see the details, it says that allowing of FIIs into investment in India's green projects, so it is widening the pool of capital available to the fund of country's ambitious project of becoming zero, okay, or carbon zero or zero emissions by 2070. And even we are focusing on ensuring 50% of India's energy which comes from non-fossil fuels, okay. So that is the thing which mainly said, and here you have to see this foreign investments. So here first one is we have foreign direct investment. So in this FDI we can invest by either automatic route or government route. And this one is foreign portfolio investments, that is FPI. So in this FPI we have like FII and NRIs and as well as PIOs who are investing. And this one is foreign venture capital investment, which includes like SEBI. And we have other investments like FIS, NRIs and QFIs and as well as so and so. And this one is investments on non-repatriable basis. So here NRIs and PIOs will be investing. So these are the different types of foreign investments. So we're talking about what is the meaning of this foreign institutional investor. So the person who is investing in any financial market outside its home country, they are called as foreign institutional investors. So foreign institutional investors, they include like especially funds or like pension funds, investment banks, hedge funds and as well as mutual funds. And even some countries, they place restrictions on the small size or the size of the investments by foreign investors. And if you're talking about what are these green bonds, so these green bonds are issued by companies, countries and multilateral organizations to exclusively fund projects that have positive environmental or climate benefits and provide investors with fixed income payments. And the projects can include like renewable energy, so we have clean transportation, green building and others. And if you're talking about what is this framework of India, which is regarding sovereign green bonds framework. So first one is, so it was announced by our government in budget 2022 to 2023. So the proceeds of these green bonds, they had been issued for mobilizing of resources. They want resources for this green infrastructure. So because of this had been announced. And now let us move back to our page, and you can go through this news page. And in this news page, most of the articles are political articles, and even there is no need of going through this elections 2024 page. So here you can see one small article. It is about 6 dead as boat capsizes in Zeelam river following rains. So here there is a chance of getting question regarding Zeelam river. So here one thing I found here is drainage system is very important and favorite area of UPSC. Yes. So you can get like either perennial river system or like peninsula river system, that is Himalayan river system, or you will be getting peninsula river system. So you have to be very much thorough regarding this. So now let us see this article in detail. So what happened? So because of good rains or like torrential rains, about 6 people including minors, they were killed in this boat. So boat has been capsized. Okay, that means nothing but drowned. And in this boat there were around 15 members who using this boat to cross the river in the city. So if you are talking about this facts of this Zeelam river, first you have to know this Indus river system. So this is our major river, Indus. So below this we have Zeelam. Next one is Chenab. So you can remember like this. I will give you code to remember the rivers from north to south. IJC. Okay, like that, International Court of Justice. Okay, IJC. And next one is RBS. So I went to IJC because my random blood sugar is less. Okay, RBS is random blood sugar. So random blood sugar is less. So I went to IJC. Like that you can remember. So your own mnemonic. I remember like this. So here I is Indus, J is Zeelam, C is Chenab, next one is Ravi, Bias and Satluj. Okay. So you can see only one river here which is ending in India. Like here we have. So like tell me, so whether it is Bias or Satluj which is ending in India. So it is not entering into Pakistan. And now let us see this Jhelum river. So here it is a river which is running between 2 countries, that is India and Pakistan. So can I say it is an international river? Yes, of course. And it is an important tributary of river Indus. And you have to know other name of Jhelum. So there will be like a question from this area. So it is called as White, it is called as Vitesta, and as well as Hydaspes. So these are the other names of river Jhelum. So it is one of the largest and westernmost of Punjab's 5 rivers, falling through the Jhelum district in Pakistan's province. And if you see some other important facts of this Jhelum river, so where it originates, so it begins in this Verinag spring in Anantnag. Okay, it is at the foot of Pir Panjal range in Kashmir Valley. And it then passes through Srinagar and Wular Lake before entering into Pakistan. And on its way here to Pakistan, the river which carves a steep, tight valley, and finally it merges with this river Chenab at Trimu in Pakistan. So it is very important, and you will be getting question like, so which of the following river which passes through this Wular Lake? That is river Jhelum. Okay. So these are the very important topics that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I am concluding, and now I want to show you one important thing. Like where can you get the notes of this class? So this is our Rathods IS classes Telegram channel. So if you want to get the notes of this class, you can join this channel for sure, don't forget. And yesterday I post one link of Google review. So my kindly request for you students is, please click this link. And after clicking this link, so this will be opened. So this page will be opened. And please give your rating here. And next one is, so what is your experience? Please share your experience in this box and try to click this post button. So that is the thing that you have to do for reviewing of our Rathods IS in the Google. So again use the same link which we posted in the yesterday's in Telegram channel, and do this for sure. Don't forget, because I am coming up with daily analysis of Hindu, and I think it will be very useful for you to get the dimensions, everything. So if you are really liking this analysis, and if you're getting something like every day some new points, and if you're understanding how to read this current affairs, so one request from my side is please do review. Don't forget to give the review. And next one is, this is our YouTube channel, so please do subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy, so that we are providing like many videos which are knowledgeable, so which will be helpful in our preparation. So if you don't want to miss them, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon. And next one is, this is our website, Rathods IAS Academy website. So here we are providing online courses, and prelims is very much near. So if you are facing any problem with a single subject, you can take single subject, or else if you want to take entire foundation course, you can take entire foundation course. So entire foundation course for prelims cum mains for your online is around 20,000 rupees. Okay, so if you want to join this, and if you have any query regarding this online foundation course, you can contact on this number 8074765513. And even this is WhatsApp number, you can text me on WhatsApp also. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this class, and thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to give the Google review. Okay.